How's it going, everyone? We finally have the major state of play for July confirmed, and it will be happening on July the 10th. Now, this entire state of play will entirely be revolved around Ghosts of Yotei, and this is going to be the big gameplay deep dive on the game that I think a lot of us have been waiting for. I personally have not been waiting for a gameplay deep dive on Yotei just because I loved Ghosts of Tsushima. Look, even though I think it's lame that Jin is getting pushed to the side, Sucker Punch has, at this point, done absolutely no wrong, and I am led to believe that this is going to be an incredible game, and they don't really need to sell me personally on it even more. Based on what I've seen, I'm already sold on it. I think the game is going to be fantastic. However, if you want to get the promotional muscle going for the game ahead of its October 2nd release, now is the time to do so, and the state of play will be officially happening 5 p.m. Eastern Time on July the 10th. So this will be a 20-minute deep dive of gameplay hosted by Sucker Punch production creative director Jason Connell and Nate Fox, including a look at Atsu's new weapons, new ways to personalize your journey, new special modes, and more. As far as, again, a game like Yotei, I'm already sold on it, but there is a bigger audience that you do want to promote this game to, and I'm sure there are people that want more insight into the game, and that's gonna be great because Tsushima, while I do love it, Ghost is not that IP that at this point I feel like is at the level of a God of War. I do think you can make the argument that it's at the level, if not bigger than Horizon, but I get that Horizon has been around longer. You've got 2 Horizon entries and a bunch of spin-off games, where Tsushima, you really only just have Ghost of Tsushima, and now you have Ghost of Yotei, which is set hundreds of years later, and you're talking about moving it to a new platform on the PlayStation 5. It's not a PS4 game anymore, and there's gonna be a lot to sink our teeth into, and I know there has been a little bit of controversy when it comes to Jin getting pushed aside as the main character for Atsu. This is one of those cases that I think some people like myself are bummed out that Jin got pushed to the side. I don't see a lot of people being like, oh, I'm not buying the game now, or I don't see a case like Intergalactic where the comment section on the debut trailer is overwhelmingly negative. Like, this is one of those instances where you need to pick apart, like, how much people are actually voicing their concern over this game. Some people, like myself, are just a little bit bummed out that Jin isn't the main character, because I think there was mileage to the Jin story based on the ending of Tsushima. But at the end of the day, the game still looks outstanding, and I am still led to believe the game is going to be remarkable, and there are ways you could tie in Jin. I get that the game is set hundreds of years later, but you could do flashbacks, you could do lore pieces throughout the world. There's a lot of potential here, and I've seen the idea thrown around of doing a future game where you circle back to Jin. However, the game development cycle is just crazy these days. I don't really like thinking about games that can potentially come out after an upcoming game is released, because you're just asking me to wait 5 years. It would be different if it was like the late 2000s and it would be a 2-year turnaround, but you're talking about a 5 to 7 year turnaround. What, you want to make me wait until 2032 to get another Ghost game playing as Jin, and we want to talk about the potential of that? Really no point in that at this point. We do have some details on the official PlayStation Store page, and they do have a page dedicated to just Ghosts of Yotei on the official PlayStation page, and that's when you know when they get the official page, that's when they're putting more of a promotional muscle behind it. What is Ghosts of Yotei? At the northern edge of Japan, a new warrior rises, set 300 years after the critically acclaimed Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Yotei is a standalone experience set in 1600s rural Japan. The story follows a haunted lone mercenary named Atsu. Thirsty for revenge, she travels through the beautiful, rugged landscapes of northern Japan, hunting those who killed her family many years earlier. 16 years after her family's death, Atsu's quest across Etso brings her to unexplored lands in search of a gang of 6 outlaws, but she finds much more than vengeance. That seems to be what the story is built around, you hunting these 6 outlaws. I do think the my family was murdered revenge story has been done ad nauseum at this point, and maybe that's just because I just played Assassin's Creed Shadows and this story is just done so much, but how else do you do a revenge story? Oh, my family was massacred. Oh, I set out on the quest for vengeance. And again, we just see this over and over again, but it's really, that's the backdrop of the story. How do you execute the story? That's ultimately what will define the quality of the narrative. Throughout her journey, Atsu will discover unlikely allies and greater bonds than she could have ever imagined. Choose your weapon, engage in lawless katana combat and battles with adversaries, train with various sensei as you find and learn how to use each new weapon, build up exciting arsenal of weapons including dual katanas, develop new skills like unlockable strikes, and disarm enemies during battle. And a lot of that, as far as the weaponry and gameplay options, we'll go in depth on that as far as when the State of Play happens on July 10th. An unconventional story and journey taken, cultural beauty of Japan, visit shrines to pray, try sumi painting, and so much more. Journey with Atsu in this beautiful, unique story as she forges a new, hopeful future and go beyond the swords as the fight to discover a story of healing and redemption and stunning graphics and gameplay. Explore the wild and striking lands of the Mount Yotei on foot or horseback. Travel picturesque parts of northern Japan through grasslands, snowy ridges, fields of wildflowers, and more. Engage with various characters, add to your map, and discover new statues to unlock new skills, and side journeys allow Atsu to discover the rich, beautiful scenery of Japan. I am really curious about what the content level is gonna be in this game. I really hope that we keep it to a point of all killer, less filler. I get that, you know, it's all about these big open worlds with a lot of content. I think with a lot of the newer Assassin's Creed games, we get to a level of they are just bloated with a lot of meaningless content. I hope Ghosts of Yotei is a tighter experience that, yes, you can have some depth to the open world, but make that content meaningful. That's what I always care about. I don't care if it's 150 hours like AC Valhalla, when so much of the content, in my opinion, is meaningless trash. I want that content to have some purpose, to move the content forward and have some sort of impact throughout the greater world of the game, which I feel like a lot of the newer Assassin's Creed games in particular. If you want to talk about the open world games that I'm not crazy about, those are the ones that I hope Ghosts of Yotei, as far as the design fundamentals of the open world goes, I hope it stays away from that and more akin to what we saw in Tsushima. Now, they do already have highlighted the standard edition is $70, the digital deluxe edition is $80. The digital deluxe edition just has a lot of in-game items that I don't think is worthwhile. This is not a Death Stranding 2 where it's going to have 48 hours of early unlock. I'm really curious how Sony's going to move forward as far as which games have that early unlock and which games don't. Since Death Stranding 2 was the first single-player PlayStation published game that did have the early access gimmick, but they aren't implementing that with Ghosts of Yotei, which is interesting. It's also a $70 game, not an $80 game. Kind of interesting as it does come out the same month as Outer Worlds 2, which is going to ship to the $80 price tag. But I think most of you guys watching this channel, you're already more than sold on this game. I don't know how much this State of Play is going to sell you on it, and if I didn't cover video games on this channel, I probably would do my best in staying away from the State of Play entirely and not even watching it, because I do want this game to be a little bit of a mystery. But since I cover games on this channel, I certainly am going to be watching it, and I'll be assessing all of the content that comes from the State of Play. Excited to check the game out. It's a week after Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky remake, so you know your boy's going to be busy with a lot of games coming out. But good problem to have, for sure. And those are games that I want to play all of those day one, and it's going to be really interesting how I manage to juggle them. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, your excitement level for Ghosts of Yotei. Interested to hear what you guys think. As always, thank you for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.